you know, and you got to let them be aware of it. So they can't say, well, nobody ever told me. You know what I'm saying?
Word. I want to backtrack real quick to what you said about Kevin Hart, Mike, things like that. Kevin Hart, love Kevin Hart on the show, but we have given him criticism in the past about some of his comedy shows being a little watered down. Now you talk about some of them comedy shows and comedy venues that you go through. I'm sure Kevin Hart went through the same ones, because I remember from Kev the Bath in Philly, you see my cuz got on this Philly shit right over the bridge, fuck the Eagles, but we wear it with pride. You know what I'm saying? Kev did his thing. But it seems like he got a little watered down in our opinion. What do you think about that? Do you think sometimes the higher comedians go, or when they reach certain levels, that they have to water it down, or am I wrong in saying that he watered down a little bit some of the latest comedy shows?
Let me. I know what your question is, but what it is more is expected of you. Name an example of anybody who's really gotten better. It's about being consistent. Who really gets better 10 years in a game? It's more about being consistent in the game. The only person I would say in this comedy, that in this game, that's gotten better, it gets better, is Chappelle.
Facts.
Chappelle just gets better. Okay. Eddie Murphy is the standard, but comedically, no one fucks with what Chappelle is doing. Socially, anything, Chappelle is the man. But let me correlate this to music once again, because this is how Def Jam started. It was hip hop, it was music, and it fused comedy. It's all one genre. Anybody, any rap artist, most R&B artists or rap artists, their first album is the best. It's normally their best album in their library. You know why? Because it took them a lifetime to get to that album. It took them a lifetime of selling records out of their trunk, out of their life, to get to that first album. So everything spills out. In their first album, you go, oh shit. And they're always chasing that. Like the first hit of crack, they're chasing that again. Then they're always reinventing themselves. I'm talking about from Janet Jackson to Jay-Z. Some artists are so ahead of themselves that their second album becomes okay. You know what I'm saying? But it's normally, and it's the same way with motherfuckers' first specials. Their first specials are normally the shit. Chappelle, Chris Rock, most of the first specials are normally the shit. And the other specials are good, but the first one is just, you've never seen it before. They're giving you a side of them. Now you're used to the other side. Now when he talks about his father, all right, you're familiar with the father. But when you're introing these characters for the first time, you know, Eddie Murphy and Delirious. You know, when Raw came out, Raw was dope, but it wasn't as good as Delirious, because he's already told you about Aunt Bunny and his father, Vernon, and blah, blah. You've heard this before. So now he's just taking them to a different realm. It's still hilarious, but your mind, is psyche has heard it already.
Speaking of
you follow me with that?
No, I definitely appreciate that. Appreciate that.
But hold on. So, and I don't need to sit here and defend Kevin Hart's damn near worth $100 million.
Yeah.
But you know, a lot comes on that dude's back, and the dude do a lot for the culture. Right. You know what I'm saying? Kev could easily be turning his back. You know what I mean? It's not just the plaster cut boys who are his dudes that he takes on the road with them. The dude looks out for a lot of upcoming comics. You know what I'm saying? Tiffany Haddish, before anybody knew who the fuck Tiffany was, Kev was doing shit for her. He didn't just start doing shit for her once she made a name for herself. You know, he knew Tiffany when she was living in a car and all that type of shit, and was doing shit. So I don't want to just throw rocks at Kev on that. You know, us as a black people, we do that too much when a motherfucker made a success for herself. You know what I mean? Like Cat Williams. I love Cat Williams, and Cat went through a time where he was wilding for a little bit, but we all love, and none of us can deny that the dude is a beast. You know what I mean? But Cat needs to step out of the game and just, now I don't want to say reinvent himself, but just live his life. He's won awards. He's put on world tours. And when he comes back, he's going to come back fresher than ever. Now he's going up. Cat Williams is going up against Cat Williams when he comes back, because now everyone's going to be like, yo, is he still funny? Is he blah, blah? That's why Eddie Murphy's scared to death to come back with this next comedy special with Netflix with this money, because all eyes are going to be on, does he still have it? You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you said that about Kev, because honestly, my personal experience when I used to work at Borgata in Atlantic City, I used to do private details for the celebrities that came in there. And I had Kevin Hart before he was doing arena shows. He was doing 800-seat venues. One of the most humble, cool cats I've ever met. It don't seem like he changed, man. So salute to Kev. I just had to be real because honestly, them last couple watered down. So I wanted to ask somebody that I felt like would give a real response.
No. To me, it ain't in this comedy game. One thing I learned. That's the point. It's a few things I learned, but one of the things I'll get ready to say right now, it's not about being the funniest motherfucker. Not about the white boys got that down pat. You just need to be relatable and in the mix. It's not about the funniest. You don't need to be the funniest. It's all subjective of who's the funniest. Right? You know what I mean? You got people that are Dallas Cowboy fans. Some motherfuckers hardly ever make it to the playoffs anymore. You know what I'm saying? But every year you feel like people feel like they're going to the Super Bowl. Oh, really? Really? So the Knicks are going to win the championship this year too. What you saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So in the comedy game, it's not about being the funniest motherfucker. It's about being funny and them being able to use you on a TV show or in movies. You know what I'm saying? Being like motherfucker like John Witherspoon was never the funniest motherfucker, but he was funny in his role that he played, and he was a scene stealer. He'll steal those particular scenes. Motherfucker like a young dude like DC Youngfly knows what he's dope at. He's dope at improv and being this young dude that's going to tell you like he's like reinventing what Chris Tucker did. You know what I'm saying? And he knows it. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about female comedians. Can you name some of your favorites? And do you feel like female comedians don't get their just due? We had Lunel on here and she was talking about how she doesn't believe female comedians get their just due in comedy as opposed to their male counterparts. You speak on that?
She's right. Lunel is right. Lunel is a beast, and she's definitely on that list. Lunel is going to tell you 140%. I call Lunel the one to tell you the baby's ugly. You know what I'm saying? You know when the motherfucker got a baby, they like, "Hi, you see the baby?" And when you say that, you up to whatever the motherfucker want to tell you how that baby looks. But 99% go, "Oh, look at him. Yes, he do. Yes, he do." And they'll be like, "That's an ugly baby right there." You know what I mean? She gonna tell you the truth, and that's what you love about it. Some more is a beast. You know what I'm saying? Wanda Sykes is a beast. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tiffany may not be the funniest stand-up, pound for pound, joke for joke, but she's funny and great at what she does. You know what I mean? Tiffany ain't saying that she's the funniest. She's in the game. She's in the mix. She knows it. You know what I mean? But female comics have this shit the hardest than anybody else. You have black comics, black male comics, black female comics are the lowest on the totem pole. They have to go through the most. They almost have to fuck their way to the top. And the ones that don't want to fuck their way to the top are like pushed to the side until they decide that they want to do that. And if you don't want to do that, you're called hard to work with. You got to go on the road with all of these dudes that taking you on the road because they want to get in your pants and all of this other stuff. And then on top of that, you got to compete with all the other females. Then you got to maybe get pregnant and still go through it and get back on, find childcare and then still stay on stage. A lot of shit that they go through goes unseen. And I take my hat off to the female comics that are doing it. There's some beasts. Ada Rodriguez, she's another one. You know what I mean? And she's gotten big into the social platform. You know what I mean? You're going to hear a lot from her the next 2 or 3 years for everything that's going down for her comedically and socially. So, you know, I think female comedians are dope.
Absolutely. Shout out to
Coca Brown. Coca Brown's another one. Coca Brown, my sister. That's another female. She talks about her experiences. She's a single mother raising a young black man, and she brings it to the stage talking about that. I'm a single black woman doing a job that a black man should. I don't have any help in my life. She ain't complaining about it, but she's just doing it. And she's talking about it on stage and stays working. Gotta take your hat off to that.
Salute to all the female comedians out there doing their motherfucking thing. Salute. Yeah. Hecklers. I'm gonna talk about hecklers real quick, man. What's the craziest situation you ever been through where somebody was just heckling you, and I'm sure you put some work on their ass? Pause. What's the craziest heckler situation you ever dealt with?
I really don't get too many hecklers. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get a heckler. The time when you really get hecklers is when there's too many comics on the show. when there are too many comics on the show, people start getting restless. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll do a show and they have more comics on the show than the Lou Rawls Telethon. There'll be like 12 comics. You be like, dude, there's no reason 12 comics should be going on unless we're raising money for cancer. There shouldn't be this many comics on this particular show. So you got to realize if you have 12 comics on the show and the host, that's really 24 comics because the host has to come on every time after that comic, do a couple of minutes, and bring the next person up. So the crowd has to get themselves adjusted. It's a 2-item drink minimum at most shows. By now, that person's working on their 4th or their 5th drink, and they start saying things. You know what I mean? And what I found out that most hecklers are normally supporters. A lot of the hecklers are dudes that want to be on the stage but don't know how to go about doing it. So they think if they yell out at you and you say something back that they're now part of the show. Those are normally the dudes after the show that wait for you and want to shake your hand and take a picture. They want to give you 5. Yeah, they normally wait for you to go to the bathroom and they pop up like, yo, we killed that shit, right? we killed that shit.
Speaking of hecklers, did you see that night at Caroline's? Did you see the heckler that came at TK? Was he in the building for that one?
No, I had just bounced, but I heard about that. TK could have been playing. Yo, TK did like 10 minutes on that dude, right? Yeah, he got on his wife, right? He got on his wife, right? Got on his wife.
We recorded the video and posted it.
yeah, I think I did see the video.